Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. I'm Amanda.
I'm Peggy.
You're watching the Junction Fiber Mill Millcast.
Yeah,
and it's Monday, July 31st.
Right.
Today.
Right, and I think this is Millcast 38.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
We're getting up there in numbers. We're gonna have to actually write a note or something to ourselves.
Right. It's a lot, but it's terrific.
Yeah.
Boy, did we have a fabulous weekend.
Oh, it was busy. We've been on mill mode 7 days straight.
Yeah, but this was for fun reasons this weekend.
Yes, we had our first ever. We're calling it the Farm and Fiber and Food Retreat weekend.
The three F's. Yeah.
Yeah. Farm, fiber, food.
And there was a lot of food, but
yes.
it was a lot of. What a great group of people.
Yeah,
so
we had 12.
Yeah, 12 people came and joined us from Maine, New Hampshire, New York,
West Virginia,
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Just really fun, great group, and thank you guys who are watching and who joined us. Man, it was just a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun meeting Peg's sheep. We went to the mill. We had some delicious dinners and lunches and farmers market
and for the most part, the weather cooperated. Sunday was like freaking knockout.
Yeah, we woke up Sunday morning after a bunch of rain Saturday night, and it was like a whole different environment. It was like dry, cool. My husband is so happy with it.
Right, yeah. But I have to say, we had an unbelievable downpour on Saturday, but it timed itself well.
It did.
We were still able to go meet the sheep, and crazy downpour.
Yeah.
When we left, we had a dinner Saturday night on this kind of remote farm that has an incredible restaurant on the farm. And driving back, you saw it in your car, right?
Yep.
Insane. Full-on rainbow.
It was a double rainbow. There was the first rainbow, and then the little rainbow.
Yeah, but a lot of times when you see a rainbow, you can kind of see part of it, and then you don't see the end of it. This you could see all the way from one end to the other.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. And up in Pomfret, Vermont, you're just in those rolling hills.
Yeah.
You get such a nice view. So it was like magical. So we planned it that way.
Yeah, right. Cue the rainbow.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. So. And we're going to do another one in October.
And unfortunately, they're all sold out for this year, and we'll have to reevaluate, how it goes, if we're going to do it next year or not. But stay tuned. We'll let you know.
Yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, it was good. So we have other. Things are jumping at the mill here.
Yeah.
Retreat and
the knit along, which starts today with the cast on. But it's not too late if you haven't purchased your yarn yet or your pattern to jump in on it, because I actually don't think it's going to be that onerous of a knit. I think it will take not that long from start to finish. So the knit along runs all the way from today, when you're watching this, August 1st through Rhinebeck, which is October 21st. And it is the Lindell Torkel by Ona Walden. And I've got mine to show. Do you have yours?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I was... that looks... I forgot you did the in the clearing.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going with a creamy, not background or outline, and I've got the
brown.
the charcoal.
Does that not look fallish?
Yeah, doesn't that? And I've got all my stitch markers in. She had a great tip.
I know.
Did you do it?
No, I need to get all I have. So Ona's tip, because the pattern, the Torkel, it's a scarf.
Should I go get it?
Yeah, go get it. I'll explain.
You explain
the knit along.
Right, and I'll go get the sample. I'll be right back.
So Ona's Lindell collection, she has a whole bunch of patterns from, scarves to socks to a holiday stocking that I knit earlier this year. But the whole thing is that it uses short rows, and for the short rows, it's really helpful to have a lot of stitch markers in your work, so that you kind of have jumping off points when you're reading, because you have to kind of go line by line on the pattern. So she had recommended to get rainbow stitch markers. So you've got some red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And then you can use the colors to help keep track of which stitch marker is which. Peggy and I got the memo, but didn't actually acquire the stitch markers, because we both have sort of random stitch markers.
Well, and I have colorful stitch markers, but I donate them to the mill. So I was like, I note to self, I got to get some of them and bring them home.
Yeah.
And you could, and now I understand why, because there's sections that you're knitting, and the stitch markers kind of guide you on what section that you're working in. So this is what I'm knitting. You're doing a slightly different version.
I'm doing variation B, which is basically if you fold it in half the long way.
Okay.
So it's just one part of this. So it'll be a little bit skinnier of a scarf. Yeah, so we'll see. And so we have a lot of folks joining us on the knit along. We'd love to invite you to join us on the knit along.
Come give it a try.
It's definitely a more advanced pattern. It's for, she says the adventurous novice or, experienced knitter. You kind of have to know, your wrap and turn. That's sort of the main technique.
That to my mind is the only thing, and I'll be honest with you, because we've talked about short rows, and in the pattern it says very clearly this isn't the German short row, it's just
wrap and turn.
But then I was like, I want to make certain I understand what we mean just by wrap and turn. So I got that straightened out.
Excuse me.
And really that's all it is. And you have to be counting your stitches and be aware of the markers. But
it's one that you can't really look at it and figure out your way. You do have to go, it is really line by line in the pattern.
Right.
So that to my mind, it's actually not a difficult knit either. And it's, I think, highly rewarding. How's it going for you? I've knit her patterns before, so I'm curious how you found it.
The only thing I'm a little, and we're going to see her on Friday, which we'll talk about in a moment. The only part that I get a little confused about is in some places you're doing a wrap and turn.
Yep.
And then you're changing colors or you're slipping stitches, which means when you're slipping stitches, you can't take that with you, so you're having to cut it.
So I'm not cutting, and she addressed that as well.
I couldn't understand how you're not cutting.
No, I'm just leaving floats. So I've got a few longer floats, which I think will felt in eventually on the underside of my work. They're all on the underside. So you can either choose to sew in or to cut your floats. She cut them here and sewed them in, but she brought in a sample that I looked at with them. And to my, honestly, it's out of laziness. I just don't want to deal with sewing. So what I'm doing is I've got a float here that's rather long float.
Yes. So what are you going to do?
I'm just going to leave it there. It's just a scarf. It's going to be on the underside. I'm not worried about it, but you can do what you want.
I hear you.
This is another long float.
Okay.
Again, I'm just going to leave them this time. And honestly, because this is a smaller project, it's just, it's variation B. It's only 2 skeins. I'm just going to see if I like that. And, maybe I'll make another one someday if I don't. But yeah, I'm leaving it. But when I did the stocking, I cut them. Most of them I cut.
I was surprised you'd do a wrap and turn, and then if you are going to do the cutting, which I think I'll stick with it, I'll do the cutting. I'm cutting it literally right after the wrap and turn, which I thought, well, that's kind of unusual, but I guess that's the rhythm of it.
Yeah, and I think it does, because it is wrap and turn and you're not picking up that wrap. You do get a slight lace effect from it, so I think that's part of it too, is sort of the visually... you can't really see it. So we're actually knitting ours. This was knit on a size 6 needles, and this is Ona's knitting, not ours. But we're knitting it on a 7, so it'll be a slightly looser gauge than what you see here, which I like the 7 so far.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Anyway, it's not hard. So and we're the cool thing is Ona's in the hood.
Yeah.
So we have expert advice from the designer, when we need it.
Yeah. So how does the knit along work? We've got a lot of questions. Well, Peggy and I, neither of us have ever done a knit along.
Never done one, let alone say, oh, let's run one.
Yeah. So we thought it would be fun to just sort of interpret it as we would. So here's how we're interpreting it. You will knit alongside us, basically, in the world, and we'll just do it all at the same time. So starting today, as you're watching this, after August 1st is cast on, you've got until October 21st to finish your torkel.
Yeah, and do it at the pace that's comfortable for you.
Yeah, and you can either do the variation A or variation B. And you can do it really in any yarn that you like, but we do have a prize that we're going to draw. So if you finish your torkel by October 21st, post a picture on social media and tag. There's some hashtags in the knit along instructions, which you can email us for or go to our website for. If you use those hashtags, we're gonna randomly select one of you to win a goodie bag from us, which will be a project bag filled with yarn. And to win that prize, you need to knit it with 80% our yarn. So
if you don't do social media, you can take a picture and just email us the picture. And we've had a couple of folks comment about, they don't do Instagram.
Which is fine. Just email it to us.
It's totally fine. Just email it to us.
And, part of the knit along is to build community. So we'd love to see what you're doing. So if you are on social, or just email us what you're up to.
And then we'll share it.
Yeah, we'll share it to our followers. And it's just really exciting to get to knit with our community.
Yeah.
And to see what color combinations.
Yeah, the color combinations that I saw you packing up.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Well, we've got a couple of kits on our website for different, for the variations we're making, and for this one that we have the sample made in.
Yeah, that's Leaves in the Brook.
This is Leaves in the Brook with one of our cream colors.
Yeah.
But you can kind of choose whatever you like.
Absolutely.
And we have some inspiration on our Instagram right now for color combinations. Yeah. But to do that on our website, we've got a standalone product on the Knit Along page, which is, if you go to our website, right on the home page, you'll get directed to the Knit Along. Yeah. You can just add the pattern and the instructions for the Knit Along to your cart, and then your yarn, and you can build your own kit.
Yeah. Yeah. And give it a try.
Wear your Torkel to Rhinebeck.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to do a big group picture, so we're really excited to see who shows up. Could just be us. I don't know.
We need a nice cool day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to think about what would be a cool way. I mean, we could all be wearing it, but it might also be fun that we just have them all hanging, so you see all the different colors of it.
Ooh, yeah, maybe we'll do both versions.
Yes,
that sounds great.
Yeah, so, anyway, give it a try.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I knit her holiday stocking, and I liked it. What I really like about this pattern is, they both look like you're knitting in the round. You're not. You're knitting flat, but
right.
Yeah. So you cast on like 220 some stitches. It's a lot. But then sometimes you have to knit across all those stitches, but then you get to the shapes, and it's so satisfying, I find, to go knit 20, knit 14, knit 16, and you just sort of like wrap and turn those ones.
Yeah.
So I find that really like fun and motivating, even though.
Well, that's because you've done it before. I'm like going, have I done it correctly? But I'm getting it.
It looks good. So yeah, here's mine. It's in the clearing with some natural cream.
This will just give you a sense of how those colors are going to start going.
Yeah, I'm excited. And you've got your pumpkin patch.
Yeah, I'm doing pumpkin patch. So look at the colors that are going to be in that. Can't wait.
So fun. And that's the natural gray from Savage Heart Farm.
Yes.
Fresh.
Yes.
Which
we have
a ton of
some of that.
We
don't have any of the for Savage Heart Farm. We don't have any of the cream or the super dark chocolate.
But we have other farm fresh creams. So plenty of cream if you like the cream.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. But speaking of the Knit Along, the pattern designer who we mentioned, Ona, she is going to be at our open house this Friday.
Yeah.
She's going to set up in the back with sort of a special presentation on pattern design. She'll be there to talk about Torkels. If you are coming to the open house, that's sort of another reason to
motivator.
Yeah.
Give it a try. Meet the designer.
And it's certainly not too late to start the Knit Along after our August 4th
plenty of time.
Open house. So come get your yarn then and talk
I'm
to
looking
Ona.
forward to talking to Ona because I want to just ask her I got some questions. Anyway.
But I will say, direct if you have knitting questions or whatnot, send them to us, and we'll figure out how to help you along.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
What is going on in the mill?
The mill right now.
Let me guess. It's cranking.
It's cranking. We have moved off of making tracks, which I love when we're spinning making tracks because it's always different colors. But we were doing a lot of making tracks. So, little breath of fresh air. We are working on. I think we're allowed to say who this is.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Look at this gorgeous. This is Wing and a Prayer. This is Tammy White's Thelma and Louise. And it's Thelma and Louise with not a little bit. I'd say we got up to about 15% alpaca in it.
Yep.
And it's just yummy.
So it's an interesting combination of fibers. It's Cormo, Cotswold, and alpaca.
Yeah.
Cormo, tons of crimp.
Yep.
Lots of grease that we had to wash out.
Yep.
That's just a Cormo thing. And then Cotswold, luster, a lot straighter fiber.
Yeah.
And then the alpaca adds a lot of softness. It adds that nice oatmeal almost tone to it.
I don't know how to explain it. That's what's adding a little bit of coloring.
Yeah, it's not even oatmeal. It's like a vanilla or something like that.
Yeah, I'd go vanilla. It's really...
It's a nice cool white, which I really love.
It feels so fabulous.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of this.
It was kind of fun. I don't know if you noticed. So when we were doing the retreat this weekend, there were a couple of women, we were all kind of admiring what we were all working on. And there were several of them knitting with Wing and a Prayer.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Yeah, and we were like, ooh, did we spin that
Did we spin that? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we did some of it.
It is a breath of fresh air, though, to get some local, farm wool into the...
Exactly.
You want to silence that?
I thought I had silenced it. Sorry about that. Slide the key. There. Okay.
Technology.
Yeah, it stumps me every time. Boing.
I don't think my phone's on silence either, so I'm just crossing my finger. But
yeah, so that's frankly is all we're working on in the mill.
Yeah, Tammy brings us usually pretty big jobs, and then we sort of set aside about a few days on the spinner to get through it.
Right.
So we'll get through that.
I think we're a little more than halfway through.
Yep, and then we've got some other custom processing coming right behind
absolutely.
It. So
yeah.
I think everybody is a little relieved, but we're still dyeing a lot of making tracks because we found that, we can dye a lot of it at a time, and then when we're ready to do making tracks, we'll just put it all through.
We've got a nice rhythm going.
Yeah, but every day's a little bit different. So.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking ruts here. Yeah.
No, we're not like just making widgets.
Right.
Whatever.
So I finally blocked my ribbed sweater.
I am so curious because selfishly, because I am still in the process of knitting a very similar sweater, and it is just like a glove. So how did it turn out? Did you manage to block it looser?
Very much so. I love it. I'm going to try it on.
Woo,
Here's my one caveat.
Okay.
I don't know what my problem was. It could be that because of the ribbing. I know when you're doing a neck down, where you're doing the yoke, for me, it should be 8 inches and then begin the underarm.
Okay.
Even after blocking it, that armhole is down here. It still fits, and it fits so much better. It's not tight in the neck. Here, I'll show you real quick. Yeah, so I'm going to put it on.
And so it still has a lot of stretch.
You know what? I did not stretch out the sleeves.
Okay, so this doesn't have quite as much.
Right.
So it's more of a decorative rib at this point.
Well, it's decorative except on the and I did the neck looser. Eventually there'll be a front and back. Right now there is not a front and back. But yeah,
What do you mean eventually? Just as you wear it?
Well, I did. Yeah, I think so. But I was worried that it was going to buckle here, and I'm not having that problem. But you can see the problem here.
Well, it's just a little oversized, but I think that's like kind of the style.
Well, I would like to have had the arm pit go up a little higher, but it's not. It's not like when I first tried it on, and I thought, oh my god.
How much stretching did it take?
I'll tell you what I did was I took a sweater that I liked the way it fit, and I got this wet, and I don't know how you do it, but I get it wet.
Yep, I do too.
And then I lay it on a towel, and I roll it up in the towel, and I walk on the towel so that it's. It's not dripping.
Yep.
And then I laid it down, and then I laid the sweater that I like on top of it.
Okay.
And I used that to make certain that I was getting the neck loose enough, and I used that as my guide.
Great.
Yeah, so.
Nice. Complete.
It's complete, and it's really warm.
Yeah, so not for August.
No. But
awesome.
Yeah, and this is out of the Montadale. This is Dave Martin's.
Yep,
where we introduced you to Settlement Farm and Dave Martin. This is his flock, Montadales and Cheviots, and we dyed it here.
Yep.
And we are going to have more of that at Rhinebeck.
And I think there's still a little bit of it through our site right now.
Yeah, we still have some of this. I just really loved the color.
Yeah. It looks great.
So
looks great on you.
Thanks. It's not I tend to do cool colors.
Yeah.
And so this is and so then doing the knit along. I'm going in colors I don't normally wear.
Yeah, and your Soldatna had a lot of orange in it too. So yeah.
Hey, it's not too old to change.
There you go.
Yeah, sometimes it is, but anyway, yeah.
That's great.
All right, so that's what's going on. Hey, we've got some fun ahead for us.
Yes.
And you're turning it into a lot of fun.
Yeah, because so we need another pin drafter because we're getting this new spinner from Italy. Very exciting. And so, it's sort of like a give a mouse a cookie thing. If we're going to have a new spinner, we also need a couple other machines to sort of make that make sense.
Yeah, it's like right now, if there's a block, like it's the spinner. We only have 8 spindles.
That's the bottleneck.
That's the word I wanted to say. Well, with the new spinner, we'll have 8 plus 12. The new bottleneck will be the pin drafter.
Yep, and also the skein winder, but we think we've got a solution to the skein winder coming soon.
Yep.
So that's great. But so the pin drafter is sort of the one that you've especially been on the lookout for.
Yeah, and they're very difficult to find. People who have them at their mills, they want them, they keep them, they don't part with them. But we have one. It's a little different than the one we've got. And so we're going to do a field trip next Monday down to Brewster, Massachusetts. And
Brewster, Massachusetts, it turns out. is on Cape Cod.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I have some good friends. My good friend grew up on Cape Cod. His parents live there in a big house, and they are always trying to get me to come down on a Monday, Tuesday, because his wife, my friend, has a bridal shop, so they're busy on the weekend. So her weekend is Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I was like, we have to come down for a trip on Monday anyway.
Yeah. So you're gonna go down Sunday?
I'm gonna go down Sunday and leave Tuesday, and aside from the work trip, we'll have a little beach time. I'm very excited because, as I told you folks, maybe. The England trip was supposed to have some beach time, and it did not.
So you'll get a little beach time. Yeah, get that salt air, and
I love it.
I unfortunately have a commitment on Sunday afternoon, so I can't do that. I'm going to be getting up early Monday and driving down.
You could stay someplace on Monday night. Stay at Tuesday. It's a lot of driving.
It's a lot of driving.
To leave you doing that by yourself, but
I might arm twist my sister. Yeah. Todd and Mike, but we have the 2 dogs, all the sheep, but we'll see. Anyway. Yeah. That's going to be a really interesting field trip, and we're talking about maybe turning that a little bit into the Millcast.
Yeah, so we'll bring the camera and we'll see what there is to see, but hopefully this pin drafter works out for us. It's certainly nicely located, being in New England still. So
separate issue of how we get it from there to here.
Yeah,
but we'll figure that out.
We always
do. Exactly. Yeah, so that will be great to have that solution.
Yeah.
So what else have we got?
A few exciting things coming up on the calendar. I wanted to plug my class.
Ding, ding, ding.
So Craft Studies moved in next door. They're a craft school. You can learn pottery and metalworking.
They have some of the coolest classes.
Stuff. They were out there making wooden spoons yesterday.
Was that what they were making?
I think so, yeah. They do a whole bunch of different things, and they used to be in Hanover, and I took a few pottery classes from them.
Yeah, I took some sewing classes from them.
Really?
Yeah, how to make your own patterns kind of classes. It was really cool.
Yeah, they do
Kathleen
all
Peterson.
Stuff. Yeah, she actually was in my pottery class.
Oh, she's talented.
But anyways, they didn't have a home for a little while. They were looking around, and they just it's like kismet. They moved next door.
Right next door.
So we have this little craft neighborhood now, which is awesome.
Really cool.
And so they approached us to see if we'd be interested in hosting a class, because it just kind of made sense to collaborate with them somehow.
Yeah.
And so I am going to teach my first ever class this fall at Craft Studies and at the Mill, sort of like a combined class.
Yeah.
So it's called Sheep to Skein. It's Tuesday nights, starting October 3rd, 6 Tuesdays. And what we're going to do is come into the mill. We're going to look at raw fleece. We're going to scour it together at the mill. Then we're going to run it through the picker, the carder, the pin drafter at the mill. So people are going to have a hands-on experience with our equipment for the first time ever. We've never let anyone else do that.
Very brave.
Thank you. And then we're going to go next door to Craft Studies, to their facilities, to learn hand spinning. So I will teach them how to hand spin their roving that they made of 2 different natural fleece colors into yarn, and we'll use the sinks here to rinse and dry it. And
very cool.
I thought it made a lot of sense. I was like, how can we? Because the spinner is a beast, and kind of a little bit too much to learn, I think, in that sort of a class, but. You'll see the process using the mill equipment to speed up some of the carding and stuff, but get to make your own skein of yarn. So we're not going all the way through to knitting, but if folks finished up and wanted to knit with it, they can do it. Otherwise, we're making skeins. So
that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's a small, it's a limited size class.
Yeah, how many people?
I think 12, maybe 10. So they just announced their fall schedule. So if you are local and interested in that, I would check it out soon on their website. We'll link that in the show notes.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then what else do we have coming up?
Well, this Friday we're going to have our open house, which I'm looking. We won't have live music. That we will do that again sometime, but it's Friday 3 to 5.
But we will have a pattern designer.
We will have our pattern designer here. Ona will be with us, and I just love the open houses.
Me too. It's been a while since we've had one too.
Yeah, and it's just fun to see people come in and get a lot of repeat people who kind of come in and they know the place, right? And they show us what they made, and then I also always love it when people come in for the first time and they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like they had in mind, like we were just there working with little hand spinners, and no, it's the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
That event is free and open to the public.
Absolutely.
That's Friday from 3 to 5 at the Mill. And we just recently restocked a whole lot of colors that we were sold out after our wholesale situation. So we've got our shelves stocked.
Yeah, so if you're at all in the area, come on by.
Yeah.
3 to 5 this Friday.
All right. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it.
That's a lot.
We will see you after our trip to Cape Cod.
Yeah, after the field trip.
All right.
Fingers crossed that the pin drafters.
Yeah, then we'll have to discuss how it's coming back.
Yeah, and learning how to use it. Anyway, that's for another time. Hey, have a great week.
Bye.